Yeah. We back. Part 2. Episode 6. Daily Dose of Game by your boy UNCLEBIGDEE. So now we're about to get into the story, man. The timeline. Okay. The timeline of the history of colonization is different for everybody. It's not the same for each group or race of people. As you know, throughout history, you always hear about ancient civilizations, where these people go, okay, where this bloodline of people go, where these people go. Even when you go on the archaeology, you go look on YouTube or whatever, you're going to hear some of the stories. Even in the science genres, you know what I mean, of entertainment, you're going to see, they're going to show you, oh, we found Nephilim bones and people, giants that's 10 feet tall, and they showing all kind of stuff. Elongated skulls and the, alien head child skull that they found. You know what I mean? They find all kind of stuff in this archaeology, and they show them, and it's on display in museums, and you can go on the internet and see that evidently this planet and humans are not all the same. You see what I'm saying? It's different races of humans, and some have different traits that others don't in the design. I personally believe, and I have a lot of information and proof to this theory to make it acceptable, and not only accepted, but it's only obvious that a lot of these people and different creatures and people came from different planets, okay, in the solar system, in the universe. A lot of people are star travelers. They're way more advanced than us. Millions of years more advanced than the humans on Earth. This Earth and planet has been seeded, okay? It's been seeded from invaders. People that came from somewhere else and came here, and they had a project. They created different people here too. And they were here at different times too. That's why they say the Earth is millions of years old, and different people was here at different times. Some people all gone, some people still here, some people created, some different extraterrestrial, I ain't gonna say alien, but extraterrestrial beings came and created some other beings, and then this is just like a litter. This is just a farm, a human farm. That's what the Earth is, a human farm. You see what I'm saying? And with the colonization thing, is an organization of, certain type of species of a and then they multiply, and then they congregate all together in a swarm as, a civilization, a colony, a kingdom. In certain aspects. At the beginning it was like that, but then it switched up. It's just like, if you go look at the story, the Adam and Eve story, the book of Genesis, the first book in the Bible, okay? And when they do the sciences that correlate with the book of Genesis, remember the Bible is made up of different books, different scrolls and scriptures from all over the world. So the book of Genesis, all over the world, but then different times too, like the Red Sea Scrolls, the Dead Sea Scrolls, these. So the book of Genesis supposedly came from the Sumerian tablets and stamps. You know what I'm saying? That they found, and that's what the Adam and Eve story come from. Go research, go on a search engine. You'll see the picture in the scroll of the Adam and Eve in the garden. They got it. It's carved in stone. They found in Iraq, which is ancient Sumer, aka Babylon. All it's the same area between the Tigris and Euphrates River, where the Tigris and Euphrates River meet in Iraq, and then all along the whole river that go all the way up through Turkey, all the way to the Caucasus Mountains. You know what I'm saying? So, and another correlation to this story I'm about to tell you, it got something to do with, if you remember somewhere in the Bible, I don't know exactly, which which page or part of the Bible or book in the Bible that it's from, but I used to hear all the time that, you know, when we used to go to church, they used to say all the time, you know, the earth was, you know, pure, and the earth was, you know, the earth was pure and clean until the devil, the God cast the devil out of heaven and sent him down to earth. And since then the earth has been poisoned and changed and turned into what it is. You know what I'm saying? As far as, you know, I guess people is concerned, or life, and then another part of the Bible, you know, when they say that in that one story they said God seen man was wicked. You know what I mean? With the Nimrod thing and the all the Babylonian shit. You know what I'm saying? Where they built the Tower of Babel, he seen man was wicked, and he tried to build a thing back up to heaven. A lot of people say it's the ziggurats in Iraq or whatever, made out of clay stone. Who knows? But and then that was destroyed, and then he turned man into, made them different, have different languages, and separate them, which is the compartmentalization type thing. With all these things are in code to understand exactly what he's saying. It's literal, but then you can't really grasp unless you know exactly, like, in just plain terms, like, what it is. You see what I'm saying? And we're about to break some of that down for you, because what I'm about to speak to you and tell you and give you the timeline on the colonization, all from the beginning all the way up to the current day, in the colonization, the organization of, you know what I'm saying, these kingdoms and religions and all these different things, you're going to understand what that meant when he made man and separated them in different languages and all that, to keep them here on the earth, to keep them here stuck into this earthly thing. That's why the preachers would be like, yeah, any lover of the world is not a lover of God, or don't fall into the world. You know what I'm saying? All that kind of stuff. So let's get into it. Supposedly, these Anunnaki people, Anu, you know what I'm saying? We spoke on that in another, you see what I'm saying, show. I done mentioned it a few times and broke it down to you, the whole stories. Or even if it wasn't them. See, because me, when I go reading the petroglyphs and all the stuff that's carved in stone and the stories all around the world, I read them from Angkor Wat to all over India to, you know what I mean, China, ancient China, to Iraq, ancient Babylon, Iran, all the Persian, all the way to Africa. You know what I mean? South America. I know how to read that stuff. So, and reading a lot of this stuff, just through the pictures, I've noticed and seen that I had to put these pieces of puzzle together. I've seen a lot of stuff referencing to Taurus, the constellation of Taurus. You see what I'm saying? So maybe these people came from the constellation of Taurus. You know what I mean? Some of them stars out there got planets around them. You know what I mean? And Leo. That's why you'll see the lion's paw. They ain't got no lions in China. You know what I'm saying? Or tigers or lions, and the tigers are in India. They ain't got no lions in China. But in the Chinese, the ancient Chinese statues and things around there, you'll see the lion, you know what I'm saying, that's indigenous to Africa. And then a lot of these organizations and stuff, you'll see that lion's paw, which means around the ball, you know what I'm saying, which means the world. He got his control of the world. You see what I'm saying? That lion might be the constellation of Leo. Because all throughout Europe and ancient, a lot of old cathedrals and stuff like that, I always see Taurus. You'll see a bull head or some horns, and then you'll see the lion. So I think everything got to do, a lot of things here with humans got to do with Leo and Taurus, which means some people from there, from that constellation, from a planet or something, extraterrestrials have traveled here, and this is their project. You see what I'm saying, with the humans and all that. So we're going to touch more on that. We're going to get into that too. Go look at it yourself. Remember, everything, a lot of things here with the secret sciences and knowledge and occult sciences, that just means secret or unknown, got to do with the zodiac. Everything got to do with the zodiac. You see what I'm saying? From your you know what I'm talking about? Like, even when you're born, how somebody will read you or say that, oh, you were born this month and at this time, and this is your personality. Everything here got to do with the zodiac. You see what I'm saying? Supposedly. So I done studied that too, deep into that, and then learned a lot of things as well. And basically what I'm saying, it started, okay, supposedly, the Noah had a flood. It was a flood. You see what I'm saying? I'm not really into Noah like that. You know what I'm saying? Because everything got to do with an ark in these religions and these stories. The ark is a man-made sun. So there's different levels of microcosm of different worlds up under each other. And you know what I'm saying? So we ain't going to get into that part. You know what I mean? What I do believe is in the Sanskrit, okay, in the Himalayas, which is a high peak, you know what I mean, in that part of the world, some of the highest and most holiest mountains, like Mount Kailash and all these other places out, you know what I mean, in northern Asia, in the mountains and stuff like that, and in Tibet, they got the Sanskrit, these old ancient scriptures that tell a whole lot of information. Do you see what I'm saying? And a lot of this world and the metaphysical knowledge of self in this world and body is in them scriptures. And further than that, it's telling you about some future events that might still happen here that had already happened there, as far as on a space age type, civilization type thing. And I believe that that's because those scriptures, the Sanskrit scriptures that they still got stashed, and you know what I'm saying, and keep them, you know, sacred places and hidden, are pre-flood. They didn't, when the flood hit, it didn't go as high, that high altitude, and destroy that part of the world up in the mountains. So a lot of the scriptures and stuff is stored up there. Maybe that's why in the Swiss Alps, you know what I mean, that they got a depository, I've heard, where they got every seed, organic seed of every, you know what I'm saying, as a project. They went around the world and took every organic seed from every plant and stored it in this depository in the mountain, that's built in the mountain in Switzerland or something like that. It's high altitude, so if something happened, another flood, or when something happened, a comet hit, or just whatever happens, they still got that. They can replenish, so we can redo the world. Maybe that's the ark. That's a Noah thing. You know what I'm saying? Noah's ark was to take two of everything. You see what I'm saying? But an ark is a man-made sun, so it might just be holographic information. It might be like downloading information and then to redo the world again, because they got to destroy another one. Anyhow, let's get back on subject. So supposedly these people came, and reference back to the Taurus. If you go look at ancient Sumerian, Babylon, Gilgamesh, the Epic of Gilgamesh, all these things, the laws of Hammurabi stone, just all these things is all from Sumeria. From Iraq. Ancient was supposedly where the world started for mankind, which is, you know what I mean, the Caucasian race or whatever. They saying that these Anunnaki people came on spaceships from another planet and came and created these people with the ark and tuned them to the same frequency as the arks and put them here on Earth, and then they multiplied to mine gold or whatever, and that's just okay, just say if that's one story just for the Caucasian, because remember it ends at the Caucasus Mountains, so they the same people, but then again, there's different races of all kind of people all over the world. Some come and some go, just like they don't know where the damn Hopi Indians people went, but they got the ruins still over there in Colorado, New Mexico, or whatever. So it's a lot of people, a lot of different civilizations. Some people, races, you see them and then they gone, but their bones are still around. And they studying the bones and they're not the same. Not everybody's the same on the inside. So, with the kingdom thing, let me give you a brief rundown. These people came from another planet. Created these people. Supposedly, enslaved people, whatever. It's all in Genesis. They say something about, it's all in Genesis. If you decode it, what I'm saying is in there. Something about being servants. They got all that in Genesis. It's telling you. It's telling you they made in the image, in the likeness of the gods, which is themselves. So it's the same template. 2 arms, 2 legs, eyes, you can talk. You know what I'm saying? But supposedly the people, those extraterrestrials are more, they depleted, took a lot of genes and things out when they made this person to walk upon the earth. You know what I'm saying? So they're not as advanced on the inside as they don't have everything that certain other people have. Supposedly the black person is the original man that came. So that's why everybody hates black people. You see what I'm saying? Because the black people supposedly has that gene of the extraterrestrials who came and created everybody else. But they created everybody else with depleted genes. Like they didn't give them everything that they had themselves. It's just like the story, if you go look at Lemuria and Atlantis, it's the same story about the atoms and the Adamites. There's 2 different types of atoms. Adam, like the man that was created, there's 2 different ones. They came and made one first, and they was too smart. They had the pineal gland, the third eye. They knew how to do superhuman powers and all kind of shit, and they wasn't being obedient to the one who progenited them, which is the God that came and created and like gave them life, and then they wasn't paying homage, and then so the gods got mad and came and created another man who wasn't as smart. They took the pineal gland out. You know what I'm saying? They took the serotonin and melatonin and the amino acids out, and all these extra superhuman cells. They knew how to go in the gene splicing and take that out. And that's who a lot of these people is today that's out here. You see what I'm saying? So, make a long story short, if you go in history, look at what's carved in stone. All the kings in Samaria, Turkey, Anatolia, they was all black. You know what I'm saying? All from the beginning of time, all the way until the 1800s, man. Only about 150 years ago. Every kingdom, every king, every civilization, they were all black people who controlled the whole thing. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they were the progeny of those extraterrestrials. You know what I'm saying? It started out, if you go in time, this is contemporary time. I'm not even fit to go back to deep to the pre-dynastic Egypt. I'm not even fit to go there. Because you already know about who that was. You know what I mean? It's the same people. But if you I'm just going to go back to European, just for European references, because everything you guys are fed is all through European eyes and references to their time, like the timeline of them. So we're going to go on that timeline so you can follow and understand. And then after that, once you accumulate that knowledge, then maybe you can go further into other things and get some even more real knowledge from it. You can understand it. But I'm not going to give you, I got to go through that just for you to be able to follow me, because that's the only thing you can correlate and understand what I'm saying, because you have to correlate with what you understand and what you've been told before. And it's all got through the European, you know what I'm saying, eye. Because that's who you got it from. So you got it. So going on that timeline, we're going to start. If you guys make sure you get your pen and pads and take notes, get you a computer, you got a cell phone, you got Google, go research some of this stuff so you can follow me. We're going to start off with the Sumerian, okay? like I told you, them people came from another planet. The kings, people back then was the kings and the controllers, and they was the orchestrators and the knowledge behind it all. They was already advanced. They millions of years advanced than us, than the people of Earth. They came here, seeded Earth with some brand new people that they created, and then over time, they the ones who come and giving you knowledge and mathematics and teaching mankind. You see what I'm saying? These things, because they didn't already have it. Remember, before mankind was created, before the Tigris Euphrates thing, the Anunnaki came and created these people. Remember, they already had high civilizations in Egypt. The pyramids was already built. They had all this stuff already here before they came and created these other people. And any of these people on the earth today, these different races, was even created. You know what I mean? They was already here, had high society. So, with the Sumerian thing, and the Persian and all that, Gilgamesh, Nimrod, all of them was black. You see what I'm saying? Of course they're going to be the kings because they know more. Of course they're going to be the leaders in the boss because they know more than everybody else. The other people was just, they trained the civilization and making it, that's organized. Like I said, this show is about organized civilization on Earth. So that and where it come from. That, you know, as people multiply, they always come and start civilizations on a river. You see what I'm saying? That's why I was in the Tigris, between the Tigris and Euphrates. In case something happened, we got this water over here. This water over here. The project is going to work regardless. It's going to be a success. That's why they between two rivers, because there's no way you these people or this template, these creatures is going to lose. Even if they all die, they done somehow. Eventually, they're going to win and come back. It's going to be a success. The project going to be a success, and it was, because they strategically came here and created this people and multiplied them in a civilization between two rivers. And then that's what they did. They multiplied and they became nomads traveling all over the world. Supposedly the Silk Road and all that stuff. So what happened is after that era, you know what I'm saying, after a few thousand, I ain't gonna say thousand, a couple of hundred years, because these people ain't that old. This ain't they ain't been on the earth that long. We'll start off with the Byzantine. Okay, Byzantine, whatever you want to call it. Go Google it. Byzantine. We'll start off with the Byzantine era, and then we're going to go from there westward all across Europe. Greece, Europe, all that. So, the Byzantine. If you go Google Byzantine, it's 2,000 years old. 2,000 years ago is like when they started getting their heights. It was an organized kingdom government. Okay? Organized. I believe Rome at the time was still trying to get it, like, you know, they had ups and downs and they had reinventions of Rome plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? But with the religion, it didn't take off. It wasn't stable until they came with the religion factor. To be able to make a fascist society or organized society to control these human animals. Because really, if you look up humans, they're animals. They're human animals. You know what I'm saying? You got to know how to, you know, control them and keep them in order. And that's why everything is the way it is. Like I said, this ain't nothing but a human farm out here. And that's why everything's the way it is, because they got to control you animals. What happened is, and that's why Jesus is a sheep herder. He always had, in some of the pictures, he got you know what I'm saying, the staff, the sheep herder staff, and you got sheep behind them. The people are the sheep, the sheeple. You know what I'm saying? You got somebody that always got to control the sheep, the herd. You know what I mean? And the black sheep is always the one to them, and they is represented as a person like me or somebody that's black, because we got the cosmic, you know what I'm saying, we got knowledge and things built within us from being a part of this, the progeny from the seed. We still carry the seed that the extraterrestrials came. You know what I'm saying? We still a part of that. That's why we got superhuman. We can think. We control things with our mind. We psychic. All that stuff. That's why we a black sheep. We don't fit in with the rest of the sheep. You see what I'm saying? And basically, the black sheep, if you want to say it like that, those are the people that was the kings and the controllers and the monarchs throughout history anyway. That's why because back in the days, they used to announce themselves as kings. Because they knew who they was and their position and their right of ownership to that. You know what I'm saying? Just naturally in their mind, or just who they was. You know what I'm saying? Go look up the history of kings and how they became kings and all that stuff. It's always through lineage. It's not like a presidency where you have 4 years of presidency because you got voted in. No. The monarchy and the system from the beginning, from the Byzantine kingdom, before that too, like in all the kingdoms, Darius, all that, Persian, all the way to the Egyptian Nile Valley, the whole Nile Valley. You know what I mean? From Kush, Nubia, all the way up. You know what I mean? It was always through lineage, but it's through lineage. Whoever the father of the king is, his son or daughter ends up being the princess or the I ain't gonna talk. I don't even talk about that princess thing. I don't even know that. I don't even think that's real. But the kingship is real. The king comes from, you're an heir to the throne through lineage, whoever your father was. So, quite naturally, if the lineage was black from the beginning, all throughout history, it was always black until the 1850s. And I'm about to explain that to you and prove it to you. I can prove it to you by anybody you ever heard in history that was a king through the whole European thing, all the way back to the Byzantine. Because there's a time it was the Byzantine, then the Ottomans came and took over. Then you had the Roman thing. The Byzantine mixed in with the Roman. They became the Holy Roman Empire, all the way to West. You know what I'm saying? England and Britain and all that stuff. Even Scotland. You know what I'm saying? The blacks people founded every kingdom. Even in you're gonna ask me why? How did that happen? From what I'm about to tell you, I'm like, how did that happen? Scandinavia, Denmark, Copenhagen, Denmark, you know, Sweden, Austria, all these places were founded, the kingdoms, or I'm talking about organized colonies. Government kingdom was founded by black people. And all the kings in the beginning were all black, all the way until the 1850s. If you go Google Copenhagen, Denmark, the biggest palace there in the capital is a Moorish palace. You'll see the star, the crescent, moon crescent with the star on it. In Scandinavia. You know what I'm saying? The same with Russia. Russia was controlled and founded by black people, the Moorish people of Europe. They call them Moor because they was brown like me. They just black or Moor. You know what I'm saying? That was just what they called them. But that's why a lot of it, and I believe, because I study the buildings and stuff like that, and architecture. And Google, just go look at Moorish architecture. You're gonna look through, and then go look through all from Africa, Israel, all the Middle East, all the way through Europe. All of it is Moorish buildings. It's the same template. Just the way it's built, like certain things is built, and how they got the arches and the domes and stuff like that. All that's Moorish. So when you look at Russia, Moscow, Russia, you see them buildings with the swirls on it. It look like some Disneyland or something, but it's supposed to be the Capitol building. You know what I mean? It look like a circus or something. That's Moorish all the castles and all the things in Spain, and it's the same architecture. You'll find Moorish architecture in Malaysia, Israel, Jerusalem. You'll find it in all over Europe and Asia, and that right there will tell you, because you'll go back and see how old these buildings are, and then you'll know that's just another key, just to go back, just to prove to you, that what I'm saying is real. You know what I'm saying? Because the Moorish people were black people. You see what I'm saying? They the ones who founded most of Europe, the super West Europe. But it started, you know what I'm saying, with the Byzantine. Those people were supposedly, they was black, but they was already from the lineage of them people in you know what I'm saying, that was Iraq, the extraterrestrials. They came up, the Byzantine. If you go Google, another way that you can find out what I'm saying is true, you can follow my stories, is Google anybody in history, but you Google the coin. Don't go, see, when you Google them, it'll show a white face. Go, just for example, this is how they try to steal your history. If you go and look up, just say Maximilian II, or King Ferdinand I and Maximilian, his son Maximilian II of the Holy Roman Empire. I believe they was in the 1600s, or was the 1400s? Because the Maximilian that's supposed to be with Queen Isabella, I went and studied this shit, talking about when they kicked the black people out of 1492. I went and Googled and looked up Maximilian, and he was black on the coin. You know what I'm saying? Because the coin industry, coins and money been around Rome, the Byzantine, there's a lot of Byzantine money, 2,000 years. And in the coin industry, that's money. Like, they're not going to hide the coins or the pictures or none of that because they trying to steal your history. You know what I'm saying? They're going to keep the money. That's real shit, so they got to keep that 100. So in the coin industry, I found out a lot of knowledge too, just through the coin industry by me studying coins. All throughout history, every every house, like the house of Plantagenet, the house of this, the house of all the families, all the kingdoms, everybody had their coins made. Whoever was in power at the time, it's thousands of kings. But you always gonna see a black face on them coins, man. Go Google Maximilian Ferdinand I and his son Maximilian II of the Holy Roman Empire, which was Spain and France. See, the Holy Roman Empire was Spain, France, Italy, all that at the same. That was the Holy Roman Empire back in the mid. You know what I'm saying? It stopped. It wasn't the Holy Roman Empire after, like, around the 1800s. But before that, even Germany, all that shit was the Holy Roman Empire. It was one empire. You see what I'm saying? And all the kings was black. And their sons was